Welcome to this free immigration help channel. Today is June 22, 2023, and we are getting into the volume 124 of me answering your immigration related questions. As you can see, I have all your comments and questions pulled up here in front of me. As always, before beginning this video, I'm gonna mention I am not an immigration attorney. This is not a legal advice. All the information provided in these videos on this channel are directly from official government sources like USCIS and of course the Department of State with their visa bulletin. Also, before beginning, I wanted to say welcome to all the new subscribers that subscribed to this channel over the past couple of weeks. Wanted to say thank you for joining. If you have any questions, just drop them in any of the videos on this channel, and your comments will be appearing on this wall in front of me, and I will be able to answer them. So let's start with the very first question comment from FMA for Life 3964. I filed an appeal 2 months ago and I haven't yet heard of them. Okay, so that was on the video Board of Immigration Appeals, how to appeal immigration decision. So FMA for Life, whenever it comes to filing the appeal, unfortunately, most of the times there is really no timeline on how fast they're going to respond, how fast they're going to make the decision on the appeal. The best thing that you can do to monitor yourself is they do have the EOIR, they have their automated case information system. So all you have to do is just basically Google Board of Immigration Appeals or BIA automated case system. And you will have the website from the Department of Justice. Is going to have the ending .gov, which is official government website. And in order to look up the case information, you will have to enter the alien registration number, the A number, and that's really it. Now, if nothing is coming up after 2 months, chances are there might be some issue with where that appeal was sent to. And also, I wanted to kind of to ask you for follow-up information and see if you have filed the appeal on your own or if you have filed the appeal with the help of an immigration attorney, because that kind of makes a difference as well. And if there is, if the case is not coming up when you enter the alien registration number at all, after 2 months now, I would definitely recommend reaching out to the Board of Immigration Appeals directly, to the immigration court directly, and asking them, saying, hey, I've sent it 2 months ago and it's not even showing up in your system. So I wanted to follow up and see if it was received, if it was, reviewed, considered, what's the status of it. And once you do that, I would really appreciate if you could update all of us, because it's not just me that is interested, but I'm sure that everybody who's watching these videos, they are also interested to hear the resolution from other commenters, from other immigrants, because it's nice to hear the questions and some answers from me, but it's also really nice to hear the resolution on cases. Okay, let's move on to the next one from KWA Minde Joa Kwame and Ajoa. Kwame and Ajoa. All right. Thank you very much for in-depth knowledge and understanding of the process. You're very welcome. Thank you for watching. You're so much better than the embassies themselves. They're willing to take the money involved in the procedures, but not willing to answer any questions. It's sad that their structure is built around greed. Without people like you, we would seriously be screwed. Consider me one of your followers. Thank you so much for your very kind comment. Yes, well, unfortunately, I can't issue the immigrant visas. It would be nice to have that ability, but that's really the only difference between me and the embassies. The embassies can give you the immigrant visa. I can't. I can help you with some information on how to obtain it. But yes, it's true. Unfortunately, most of the times, whenever it comes to the embassies, they are not very willing to answer really any questions whenever it comes to scheduling, whenever it comes to the reasons for denials, especially because that's what we want to know, the reason why the application was denied, why the request for a visa was denied. But that's unfortunately just the way it is. Okay, moving further to the next question comment from Sunrise GP3YM. Hi, since I subscribed your channel, I am more understanding about F1 and still need more info to understand specifically about why there is a huge gap between chart A and B. if my brother filed in February 2017 and final action date December 2014, that's mean needs more than 2 years to have visa. Yes. Is there any way final action date will move faster in future, like filing date they moved 8 months? God bless. Sunrise, thank you very much. I'm glad my answer was helpful to you. Yes, absolutely. So whenever it comes to the difference between the graph A and graph B, the reason why there is a significant gap, most of the times it is about 1.5 to 2 years between the chart A and chart B. And it is because chart B is showing us when the NVC portal is going to be open. So once the NVC portal opens up, you start the documentary qualification process. You submit all of the documents, the NVC reviews the documents, they either say, okay, good, everything's good, you are documentarily qualified, or they say no, something is missing, and on for this whole process, they give around 1.5 to 2 years to complete the documentary qualification process. They know that there will be still a little bit more time before the availability of the immigrant visa, but they're fine with it because it is already pretty close to the availability of the immigrant visa. So in 1.5 to 2 years, there's really not going to be much changes. And for everyone who is watching this video, you probably already know, but we are talking about, of course, the visa bulletin and chart A, final action dates on the visa bulletin, and then the chart B, dates for filing. So again, chart B is showing us when the NVC portal is going to be open to start documentary qualification process, and then graph A is showing us when the immigrant visa is going to be available. And the difference between the two, most of the times, 1.5 to 2 years, with the assumption that that's how long it will take you, and most of the times becoming documentarily qualified. If you have everything ready, 3 months you are documentarily qualified. If there is a little bit of back and forth, possibly 6 months. For the most part, about 6 months. So then you have about a year and a half to wait for the actual availability of the immigrant visa. And I would highly recommend everyone, if you are not documentarily qualified yet, I have a video on this channel. It's called Documentarily Qualified. What does it mean? And in that video, I show a real NVC portal that was already documentarily qualified. In fact, the beneficiary already got the permanent residence, everything is already complete. But in that video, you can see exactly what documentary qualification entails. What forms you will have to submit, DS-260, the affidavit of support, what fees you will have to pay for both of those, which documents you would have to submit. So if you were close to the NVC portal opening up so that you can start the documentary qualification process, check out that video so that you can prepare everything so that once it opens up, you have everything ready, you submit everything within few days, and that's really it. You just wait for for NVC to review the case and documentarily qualify the beneficiary, and that's really it. Then you're just waiting for the availability of the immigrant visa. Okay, so let me post a response here, and we're gonna move on to the next question comment from Monjal Nachte 8368. Sorry, YouTube, for some reason they ruined the names and now they're just posting the handles. I don't know why. I don't know why they did that, but whatever. I have a November 2009 case F4, so siblings of US citizens. How long it will need to go for the interview date? I am from Albania, Europe. Okay, thank you very much for your question. So Albania, Europe, it means all the rest of the world, all chargeability area. So let's take a look at F4 and see when the availability of the immigrant visa. So we're waiting for the availability of the immigrant visa because we want to find out the interview date, roughly estimated. So we're going to be looking at the graph A, final action date. So for F4, right now it is showing for all chargeability area is April 2007. So April 2007, and you are in November 2009. So you are looking roughly at another 2 years, a little bit more, because from April to November, there is what? April, May, June, July, August, September, October. So roughly 2 years 2.5 years, roughly 2.5 years for the availability of the immigrant visa. Keep in mind that, once the immigrant visa is available, the U.S. Embassy, they still have to schedule the interview. So it might be additional few months for the administrative processing. But yes, you're looking roughly at another 2.5 years, and hopefully the visa bulletin, it will keep on moving without any issues from now on. Hopefully, we will see. Let me post the response here, and we're gonna move on to the next question comment from Adam Barry 620 from Senegal. Hi bro, thanks for everything. You're very welcome. Thank you for watching all the way from Senegal. Appreciate that. Moving further to Don Paul 8211. Form DS-260. NVC will not release DS-260 until fees are paid. This is for I-130 spouse of US citizen. And from what I can find, the DS-260 consists of 111 pages. Is this true? Any information on filing this form? Don Paul, I would definitely recommend you check out the video that I've done on the Becoming Documentarily Qualified. DS-260, whenever it comes to DS-260, it's not that long. I don't think it's that long. Basically, it is, if you're familiar with the DS-160, which is a really basic generic application for a non-immigrant visa, DS-260 is exactly pretty much the same thing, just a little bit more elaborate, because there is now, intent to immigrate is for immigrant visa, not non-immigrant visa, but it's really it. It's the application for that appointment at the US Embassy, that application for the immigrant visa. It's really straightforward. It's just asking, same information, and most of that stuff, if you're filing it, which obviously I would recommend doing that, filing it through NVC portal, is already pre-filled. So your information, the beneficiary's information, is already in there. All you need to do is just fill out some details here and there, again in the electronic format. So it's really, really straightforward. The only thing I do not understand is what do you mean by NVC will not release DS-260 until fees are paid? Because I am pretty sure that whenever it comes to DS-260, there is a fee payment in there, and you do pay for it, and that's really it. So what exactly, Don, is the problem with what are you trying to accomplish? Because if it is already paid for and if it's already filled and you need to make any kind of correction, then yes, of course, it is locked, and you need to request from the NVC to open it up for you once again so that you can correct the mistake. But if if you're still in documentary qualification process, just pay the fee, and like I said, most of the stuff is going to be already automatically filled in the electronic DS-260, and that's really it. That's just part of the deal, part of the basically process of becoming documentarily qualified. So that's really it. If you want, just clarify your kind of concern or question a little bit more, and I'll definitely try to address it a little bit better. Okay, moving further to the next question comment from Rajan Devkura. I was asking if there is a chance that F2A dates would be current in October 2023 when the new visa numbers for new fiscal year arrives. Mine is February 1st, 2022, rest of the world F2A. Okay, well, let's take a look at what we have for F2A. Let's see, so F2A rest of the world is September 2020 as of right now, and our current on the graph B, so let's see, 2020, and you are in 2022, so February 2022, so beginning of 2022, and we have the end of 2020. So you're still looking at least a year and a half for the availability of the immigrant visa. I don't think they will be current for October 2023, but again, we'll see. It's really hard to tell right now because so far F2A, they kind of went back on the backlog. So now there's a little bit of a longer wait than it was before for the F2A. But we will see. We will see with the new fiscal year. Honestly, everything is possible because, you know, just as of July 2023, well, we're still in June, but we have the information for July 2023 on the visa bulletin. We see that there was some really good movement on some of the categories. No movement on the F2A, but there was some pretty good movement for, you know, for example, force preference category. So we will see. We will see closer. We'll see what's going to happen with the August visa bulletin, and it will be a little bit easier to kind of make the decision from there. But as of right now, you're roughly looking at another year and a half, 2 years for the availability of the immigrant visa. Okay, let me pause this response and we'll move on further to KMCA, most helpful video. Can I ask you, if you apply for a change of status from a J1 to a B2 with just 41 days left before the expiration of the J1, is it possible to stay on in the US during the grace period pending the outcome of the B2 application, I-539? Yes, absolutely 100%. While your I-539 is pending, technically you are outside of status. So you can't leave the United States until you get the actual decision on the I-539. Once you get the decision though, all of this time that you were waiting for this decision on I-539 is considered a legitimate stay in the United States. So you're not going to be out of status. Here's the problem though. Couple of things that you need to consider. First of all, while your I-539 is pending, you cannot leave the United States of America, because if you do leave the United States of America, let's say right now you have 41 days, right, left. So if you apply right now and if you decide to leave in the next 2 weeks, you will be fine. But if you decide to leave in 2 months, right, 60 days from now, you will be leaving with basically expired duration of stay, and your I-539 has not been reviewed or approved yet. Not good. You definitely don't want to do that, because once you leave the United States, the I-539 is considered abandoned, and now you're leaving United States with the duration of stay being expired. You definitely don't want to be in that situation. Another thing to keep in mind is that as of right now, which is a little bit weird, but as of right now, I-539, they take a very long time to be reviewed. About a year, I think 13 months the last time I checked through the processing times, and you can check it on USCIS.gov. The link is in the description below. They take about 12 to 13 months to be reviewed, so the whole year. And the problem with it is that they approve it. Once they approve it, they extend the duration of stay for 6 months from the time when the application was made, from when your existing duration of stay expired, right? So closer to the expiration, which is in like 40 days. So you would have, after the approval, about, let's see, so as of right now, you have like a month and a half. So if you apply now, you will be approved in a month and a half, and then another 6 months. So in like 7 to 8 months, basically, you will still be waiting for the application to be approved. And once it is approved, it will already be your extended duration of stay will be expired by like 3-4 months. It's a little weird, and when you will be leaving the United States, it's not going to be a problem, because you're gonna be showing them that notice of action, the approval notice from USCIS saying that you have applied for the extension and it was approved, but it took a while, so now you have to leave outside of your even extended duration of stay, if that makes sense. So basically what I'm trying to say is, once you get the decision, immediately you will have to leave the United States in order to not overstay. Technically, you already overstayed your duration of stay, but because you've been waiting all this time for the review of your application, you couldn't. All right. And another thing that you have to consider is that J1 is a little bit tricky whenever it comes to extension. Most of the times there is, as part of the contract, as part of the sponsorship program, whoever your program manager is who organized this whole exchange program for you, a lot of times they have the clause in the contract that you cannot extend or change the status from J1, and you actually have to return back to the country where you came from before you can actually get a different status to come into the United States. So before starting this whole I-539 process, I would recommend reaching out to your program manager and making sure that you're good and that your particular program does not restrict you to change your status. And if that's good to go, then go ahead, start your I-539. Just keep in mind, while the application is pending, make sure not to leave the country so that you are not, so that your I-539 is not considered abandoned and now you're outside of the, your duration of stay. Okay, let's move on to the next question from Wally HDH 1587. Parole was applied by US citizen for me and my family almost 4 months ago. We are waiting for the response whether we will be accepted or not. They told us it's gonna take at least 3 months to approve, but it's been almost 4 months. No reply, no response. Valley, so let me know which application exactly was submitted. And I'm gonna take a look at the USCIS. Again, you can take a look at it yourself. I'm gonna show you the processing, where to find the processing times information, and you can actually put the receipt number in there and see where the case is. So for that, we're gonna be using the official US Citizenship and Immigration Services website, uscis.gov. So this is what the front page looks like. You can find that link in the description below. We're gonna go to Tools, and then we're gonna go to Case Status Online, and hopefully it loads today. Sometimes it doesn't, and you will put your receipt number here and it will tell you at which stage of the process your case is. But what you can also do is you can scroll down a little bit more and go to USCIS processing times information right here. So visit page, and here, depending on which application was submitted, you can select the form number and then the category, field, office, service center, where the application went, depending on which state it was filed from, and then get the processing times information on how long it's going to take. And if your case is outside of normal processing times, then I would definitely highly recommend submitting a case inquiry through this page right here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna post this page in my response so that it is easier for you to find. Sibling. And then from this page right here, you can check your receipt number and then check the processing times and then submit the case inquiry as well. Okay, so let me copy this back and we're gonna move on to the next question from Nashok Kumar 5097. Nashok Kumar, thank you very much for being a member. Really appreciate it. This is what this icon means. If you don't know, yes, you can become a member on this channel for I think it's like 99 cents a month, I think, or $1 a month, something along those lines. And basically the money that I get from the memberships, they go to the translation of the most viewed videos on different languages, whichever languages are requested. So thank you very much, Nashok. You are enabling this channel, this information, to reach more people that do not speak English. So Nashok says, when I asked the reason for rejection visa, the lady officer said, don't know. Sorry about that. Sorry you're dealing with this, but yes, unfortunately, most of the times that's how it is. If you are denied, your visa, if it's whether it's known, well, with immigrant visas, they're a little bit more specific why they deny immigrant visas, because it's just a little bit of a bigger process. But most of the times, unfortunately, with non-immigrant visas, they don't even give the reason. The reasons are generic. And it really can be something as little as, well, they had a suspicion that you're gonna immigrate to the United States of America using your non-immigrant visa, which is not good. And I know you told me in your situation that you have actually the immigration petition pending, and technically I see why they wouldn't tell you why they denied you, because basically it would be an unfair reason if they told you, because it would sound like, oh well, right now you came to us, you paid the application fee, you filled out the application, you spent all this time and money to do this, you took your time out of your day to come to the appointment for a non-immigrant visa, and really, there is absolutely no reason for us to deny your request for a non-immigrant visa. But because you have an immigration petition, we think that you will use this non-immigrant visa right now to come to the United States and stay there and not come back from there. See, they can't tell you these things, but this is what they're thinking, all right? And when they're thinking these things, they can't tell you these things because, well, for something like this, you probably can sue them and say, well, this is unfair. This is two different things. I paid the fee to come for a non-immigrant visa application, not for my immigration. My immigration petition, I'm going to be waiting for another whatever. Right now, I want to go and visit the United States with no immigration intent. I just want to see the country. I just want to see my family and then come back. You can't prove otherwise, all right? But their assumptions, it's like they do, which they can get sued for. So here's one thing that I would recommend, Nashok. Obviously, you have an immigration petition. Somebody filed an immigration petition for you in the United States of America. What I would recommend to do is, whoever it is, your relative in the United States of America, whoever filed a petition for you, ask them to reach out to their local elected officials in the state where they live. It can be a senator, the state senator. It can be state representative, congressman from their state, local, right? Do a little bit of research for, you can do the research for them, or they can do the research themselves. Basically what they need to do is they need to check out all the elected officials in there and then see which ones, just go to each website. They all have their own websites. Who helps people with immigration related issues? And they say it right there on the website. In fact, I have the video on the channel that is talking about it, on how to resolve problems with USCIS and other government agencies. And that's how you do it. You reach out to their office. You will hear back. They are eager to help people because they need votes. They need to, basically what you do is you fill out the public release of information form or something along those lines, where basically they can use your case as an example to say, oh, look, I'm helping people, all right, which is good for them and it's good for you too, because they're now helping you. And on behalf of you, Nashok, they can send an inquiry to the US Embassy and tell them, hey, why are you denying this person? This person is coming in for a non-immigrant visa. Everything is being, there's nothing illegal going on. They're coming in just to get a non-immigrant visa. We are asking you to issue the visa to this person. And you will not believe how many times that has resolved the problem. So try to do that. And then once you do that, come back and let me know how it worked. Of course, there's another option of traveling outside of the country and trying to apply through a different U.S. embassy, either in a different country or in the same country, but in a different town, if you have multiple U.S. embassies in your country, which obviously is time, money, of course, but you do have options. Don't give up. And, if you invest a little bit more time into this, you can actually get it resolved. Okay, let's move on to the next question, comment from Yuximba. I've been trying my best to tell my parents about all that you said in the video. I even sent the video and she's still in denial about what I have to say. She still hasn't watched the video either. So this comment was posted on I-130, the interview questions. What should I expect? So Yuximba, let me know what exactly, I'm assuming, you're talking about your mother. And what exactly she's in denial. So looks like she's already preparing for the immigration visa interview. Basically just, follow the instructions in the email once the interview is scheduled, and just be truthful, bring all of the documents to the interview, be polite, be professional. And there's really nothing much complicated. So if you want, let me know a little bit more what exactly she's in denial about. And maybe we can come up with a solution to an approach, a correct approach. Because a lot of times, yes, our parents think they know better than ourselves, better than us, better than their kids. Of course, because they're older, they have more experience, which is true. But it's not always the case that the certain process necessarily they're more familiar with, or just because they heard some information somewhere on some forum or somebody said something. A lot of times information gets outdated. So yes, a lot of times we do need to provide updated, fresh information. So yes, let me know exactly what she's in denial about, and we'll see what we can do about it. Okay, let's move on to probably our last question for today. We're almost at 30 minutes mark from NYC Driver 1187. Been a permanent resident for more than 30 years. What's the best way to file for citizenship? Okay, wow, 30 years. I would say it's definitely time to apply for naturalization. The best way to do it is obviously online on the official government website, USCIS.gov. Here it is. This is the front page. You can find the link in the description below, but I'll show you where that form is. You can do it all on your own. It's very easy, very straightforward. We're going to go to Forms. We're going to go to All Forms. And then we are looking for N400. You can scroll down, it's alphabetical order, or you can type in 400 here. There you go, application for naturalization, and it is available to file online, which makes it much easier. Now, the filing fee currently is $640. And then there's also an $85 biometric fee. So yes, it's a little bit pricey, but trust me, it's definitely worth doing, becoming a naturalized US citizen. It's definitely, I would recommend everyone, if you've been a permanent resident for 5 years, definitely go ahead and apply for that naturalization to become naturalized. So let me post the response here. And I actually do have a video on this channel on how to fill out the N400. Just search for it. It is on this channel. And also what the process entails. Basically, you are submitting the N400 application. You're filing it online. Then you get an appointment for biometrics, biometrics appointment, your finger. You already know that you're a permanent resident. You've been through it. So fingerprint, picture, all that sort of stuff. Once it's all done, you're scheduled the interview in field office in one of the USCIS, immigration field offices, and then you go there for an interview. They ask you, it's very, very simple questions like how many states in the United States of America and who's the president of the United States of America or vice president, so basic stuff like this. And then they check your English, which your English, after living 30 years as a permanent resident here, I'm sure your English is great. Shouldn't be any problems. And that's really it. Once, they congratulate you, and then they schedule your, what is it called? The oath ceremony, I think. I've done it, like 3 or 4 years ago. I went through my naturalization. You go there, you say the oath, and it's a very nice ceremony. It's beautiful. Everybody congratulates you. They give you your naturalization certificate, an American flag, and all the cool stuff. So that's really it. You become a naturalized US citizen. So I would definitely recommend doing that. And if you have any questions along the way, you can always come back here to this channel and ask your questions, and I will be able to, hopefully, will be able to answer those questions. So thank you very much all for asking your questions. Really appreciate it. Hopefully my answers were helpful. Thank you for your time as always. God bless, and I'll see you all in the next video.